Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Tropical Storm Imelda, and then we're also going to be looking at our temperature forecast and our precipitation forecast over the next couple of days, including we're going to be looking at Tropical Storm Imelda on the European model, and then we're also going to be looking at our our low temperatures, and then our temperature anomaly, because we could have some pretty cold temperatures in the northeast compared to average, and then also for most of the west. So let's get right into it. First, we start at the National Weather Service, where we have frost advisories and freeze warnings. The freeze warnings are in the dark blue, and then those frost advisories are in that light blue. We kind of been seeing every day, we've at least had northern tip of Maine in that frost advisory. Now it's been upgraded to a freeze warning, and then it's kind of spilled down into New Hampshire, Vermont, and then more into central New York and central Maine. So it's definitely spilling down south. We'll have to see how far south those freeze watch warnings and frost advisories go. Then we have flood advisories over for southeastern Texas into southwestern Louisiana. That's from Tropical Storm Imelda, which could drop 8 to 12 inches of rainfall on Texas and Louisiana, which we'll get into later. And then we also have heat advisories. Not heat advisories, red flag warnings in effect for Utah. Just believe one county over there. And then also, one thing to note, we will briefly touch on this. Some snow in these mountains over in Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. We won't get into detail about it. Just know that there could be some snow for these areas, accumulating to a couple of inches to even a few inches. Now, here's the key messages for Tropical Storm Imelda. This is from NOAA and the National Weather Service. They have one key message. It says, this system is likely to produce life-threatening flash flooding along portions of the upper Texas coast, including the Houston and Galveston areas. And here are two maps that we're going to go into further detail on right now. So here's your rainfall map from the National Weather Service. In the greens, you have 1 to 4 inches. Those darker greens are the 2 to 4 inches. Then 4 to 6 in those yellows, 6 to 10 in the oranges, and then 10 to 15 inches in the reds. And you see, we do actually get into that 10 to 15 inch area. And if you're in any of these, if you're in any of the rainfall areas, you should be worried or at least watching this system, because depending on where this track goes, if it moves a couple miles to the east, this bullseye area could be somewhere over the Louisiana-Texas border. So definitely watch out for this system. What we've been seeing with this system and what's forecasted is that you're gonna have some of these southeastern bands right along here. Of course, these bands could move a bit to the east. A couple miles to the east would greatly change where this bullseye is located, but we've been seeing on the models this really intense heavy band of rainfall looking to just stay over the same area for more than 24 hours, which is why we're going to have this rainfall. And then also, just another band looks to set up on the northeastern side, kind of like this, kind of looping in like that, and that's why you'll be seeing those 6 to 10 inches over there. Now, here's a flash flood risk over the next 3 days. So this is just summarizing for the next 3 days. You have a 5% chance in that green, which is a marginal risk. Then in that yellow, you have 10%, and that's a slight risk, and then 20% in that moderate. If you're in the slight or moderate, definitely something to watch out for. That could definitely be serious. Now, here's through Wednesday morning. Here's the flash flooding potential. I'm not going to go over it in detail, but if you're in one of those areas, the key is the same for this. So just look out for your area, see which color you're in. Then here's through Thursday morning, and then here's through Friday morning. And what you see on Friday morning is that the system is actually moving onto land by Thursday and Friday. So that's why you're seeing this greater area of moderate of 20% chance of flash flooding. Now, here's the cone of uncertainty. We have it going. It's a pretty small cone of uncertainty. It's kind of, the center should be anywhere just over here anywhere from about Dallas to just to the Louisiana border. So it looks to stay as a tropical depression. That's just the good news. So no heavy winds or anything like that. So not even gonna obtain tropical storm status. But you do see we have some tropical storm warnings right over here for the coast of Texas. That's because right now, it's forecasted to be a tropical storm within a couple of hours. So that's why you have tropical storm warnings over here. But you shouldn't. It should turn into a tropical depression once it actually goes through into Texas onto land. Now we're going to talk about our low temperatures, and it's going to kind of show where the cold patches are and where those warmer areas are going to be for the next couple of days. So this is for tomorrow's low temperatures. You see, you really have these warmer temperatures getting all the way into Ontario and into southern Canada, and that's mainly because we have all this warm air kind of being pushed northward, and this low pressure system is going to be moving over here, and that's why it's going to be pushing this colder air, kind of like this with the cold front. Now we have these colder temperatures for the west and even for the northeast, where temperatures could be in the 50s and 40s for low temperatures, and then in some spots the 30s and 20s. Now as we move on, this is for Thursday, and then here's for Friday. And you see, it's kind of persistent. This cold air is being spilled down south all the way to North Carolina and Virginia, and then this colder air is staying over here. But this warm air is just being kind of pushed northward, and so you're seeing abnormally high temperatures. High temperatures in these areas could be in the 80s and 90s. We kind of see a bit of a pattern shift. These warmer temperatures are starting to move a bit more east, and that's going to lead to some warmer temperatures for the east and then some colder temperatures. With that cold front comes those colder temperatures right along this line. So anywhere east of this line is seeing pretty much warm temperatures, and then west of this line behind the cold front, you're going to be pretty much universally seeing colder temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lows. As we move on, kind of stalls out a little bit. What you're seeing here is potentially some severe weather. That's why it's bringing the temperatures down here. But the cold front is pretty much staying like this. The cold front stalls out for one more day. This is on Monday and then Tuesday, and then it kind of rebuilds, and we're going to have to kind of see what this cold front looks to do, because it kind of looks to re-strengthen a little bit as we go into early next week. Now here's our temperature anomalies. So I'm not going to go in detail with these, but this is just your departure from average. So those blue, greens, and purples, those are below average. And then those reds, oranges, and even those browns and whites are above average. So we see these well above average temperatures all for the central United States, and then hugged along the east coast, the I-95 corridor is all seeing colder temperatures, and then well below average temperatures for Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Montana, parts of Washington, parts of most of Oregon, and then California as well. They're all seeing those colder temperatures. Now, as we move on, you kind of see how those cold temperatures expand a bit to the east, but then that cold front kind of stalls and then rebuilds, and you see those warmer temperatures. Now, what you see here is a potential heat wave for the eastern United States, where you could be seeing warmer temperatures, and that kind of is going to develop as time goes on. We'll have to see what's going on with this. Now, here's our quick look at the precipitation. So, over the next couple of days, right here, this is the tropical storm over Texas and Louisiana, and that's gonna look to kind of move inland a little bit. And as that happens, here's the mountain snow over here, and yeah, we also have some scattered severe thunderstorms over this area of the central United States. And as we move this on a little bit, you do see like this line. Right here, this is heavy rainfall and scattered severe thunderstorms. And also, one last thing to note, you'll be having consistent shots of moisture for parts of the northwest coast. So something you're definitely going to notice. That's why you'll be having above average precipitation this week. If you did enjoy that video, guys, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. We've been having tremendous support recently, and I really want to thank you guys. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.